I want to show the procedure on how to clean the throttle body of a 991.1 3.4 liter Porsche 911. So this is my 2013 Carrera Cabriolet. I just bought an X-pipe from Sharkwerks, and after talking to the company, they recommended that I clean the throttle body and change the spark plugs. I kind of like that idea because I bought the car secondhand. I don't know when the plugs were done last or if they were done. So I decided I'm going to make a video of the Sharkwerks installation. So I may as well make 2 other separate videos of how to change the plugs and clean the throttle body. Now, the throttle body, that's probably not something that you'd normally do. It's not like a normal maintenance thing. But you'll see that I did find that there was a buildup of dirt, soot, whatever you want to call it, and maybe enough to have affected the ECU to map differently for airflow. So it's probably not a bad idea. And if you find yourself in that area, like if you're changing the serpentine belt or something like that, you may just want to pull it off and clean it up. So anyway, I want to show that procedure in this video. Hopefully it helps somebody if they are looking to do the same thing. All right, we've got 3 fasteners on each wheel well. 1, 2, and third one straight up here. All right, these are T30s and should just come right off. All right, with the spoiler up, you can get to the cover of the taillight bolts, and that's this plastic piece here. You basically got a clip here and a clip here, so you're gonna like pry up this way, and you can see them. You can see them right there, and they go in these slots right there and there. Okay, so this big one in the back right here, this is a T45. Okay, so T45. This one you don't have to worry about. This one is an adjustment screw. So when you go to loosen this, we need to retain the position of the nut that's underneath there. So we're gonna have to figure out how to hold it while we unscrew that. But let me get these. Okay, I want to loosen this T25 fastener. The nut underneath, I want to make sure it doesn't rotate, so I have a tool here that could hold it as I loosen it. But I'm just looking at it with a shop light here. It really didn't move. So use your judgment. It's a long screw here, but it didn't move. If it started to move, I had my tool. All right, I'm gonna take the tail light out, and there should be a connector. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 T30 fasteners up here. This is on the top. Okay, the bottom fasteners are also T30. All right, let's keep going. We've got 2 fasteners here. Hopefully we see them. 1, 2. All right, and that's on both sides. Those are T30s. Okay, all the fasteners are off, so now it's a matter of lifting up and pulling it off of the brackets on both sides. All right, remember I said I have a flathead in my pocket? It was a good thing because this connector had to, see it? That connector had to come out of here, and this is kind of clipped against the bumper cover, so there was no play, but it was just a matter of putting the flathead into that space and twisting it. It releases the clip, and then you can pull on it. So anyway, here we go. We got the bumper off, bumper cover. All right, we'll be back. Okay, so first we want to remove this plastic frame piece. Next, this whole shroud piece that holds the fans, they just pop right in. So if you grab a corner and you lift up, they're going to start to release. Okay, same with the other one. Same connector. So, came right out like that. Yeah, sorry, this isn't the greatest. I've got the car in the air. I'm standing on a bench, so it's not the greatest photography, but this procedure is all over the web. If you change your own oil, or if you look at videos on how to change oil on these cars, you'll see this. Okay, the next thing is to remove this cover and this cover. So I'm gonna have to remove the caps on there, but this should just press in as well. Okay, and this connector is for the rear wing, so we'll come back to that. But I do have to remove the caps here. Okay, so this panel looks like it's got a fastener. That looks like a 10mm, and I don't know if there's anything else, but let me remove that now. Okay, with that 10mm removed, it looks like I can just slide this up. And something is attached to it. Oh, the oil fill. There's an oil fill hose connected to it, so I think leaving it like that should be enough for me to get the wing out. So I'm not going to go any further with this. So let's go back to this connector. Alright, so for this connector, I put a flathead in there and just lifted, let me show you, lifted that little lever up. Once you lift that up, then you can pull on this thing. And just, this is the part that wants to move. This is fastened. Okay, so it is Torx 45. My understanding is we do this one, and we do this one, and we do it on both sides, and I believe the whole wing assembly comes up and out. Okay, I've got the two front bolts removed, and this is the last back bolt. And you can see the wing is ready to go, so I don't even want to put my wrench there. Hold on, I'm going to put the camera down. Okay, after removing those 4 bolts, this thing just removes pretty easily. I didn't have to remove anything more to that oil cap, that plastic cover with the oil and the coolant. So this just kind of slid right underneath that cover. And I did have the rear camera wiring fastened to this, so I had to clip that on the way out. But that was something I installed. So the factory rear camera shouldn't be fastened to this at all. Okay, so now we're looking at this. I've got to remove the air box to get at the throttle body. So let me look to see what connections I have to remove to get this out. I know this piece should just come right out. In fact, I think I had this out before, but not trying to remove the air box. Okay, so first thing we want to remove is this sound tube, and it looks like I just push on there, and there's one on the other side, just kind of squeeze. Okay, that was it. Just basically you're really pinching that, and it comes right out. Okay, so now we're coming here. I know this connector has to come out, so it's just pushing down on this wire. Let's see if I can do it with this hand. Push down, and again, I need two hands to secure it. I can't really put the camera on a tripod up here because, again, I'm raised up because the car's up in the air. So let me just put two hands on that, straightforward enough. Okay, so it looks like this should be disconnected, this blue hose, and again, we're gonna pinch, and I'm gonna use two hands again. All right, so you see how that comes out. And so I'm assuming all of this is gonna come out with the box, but this connector goes to the car, so I'm assuming this has to come out. Again, we pinch the wire, and I'm going to get two hands on it. All right, so that's removed. That connector here is removed. This is removed. Sound tube. Okay, I think that's it, but we'll see when we go to remove it. And, okay, that's it looks like 10 millimeter on there, and that secures the airbox. So let me get my tools. Yep, so 10 millimeter. I think there's two of these. All right, so now we've got the hose clamp on the throttle body, and that's a 7 millimeter. And also has a little flathead cut out. Okay, I've got this hose clamp nice and loose, so I'm hoping I can pull this off. It's probably been on there for a while, so I'm going to try to work it with my fingers a little bit, and then we'll give it a tug. Okay, so I got that off. There was one more connection, and it's right here. Okay, so let me get down. So it's this plastic hose right here. I believe it just slips out. Let me get two hands on it. This one right here. Okay, so there you go. Just pulled right out. Okay, so now we have a clear shot at the throttle body. These are E10 Torx, so it's just a matter of removing this connector and 4 E10s. Okay, so I believe there's just two tabs here for this connector, and I don't have good luck with squeezing tabs. I end up having to put a tool on it because I don't know. Okay, there it goes. All right, by the way, I do have a replacement gasket for this. So if you're going to remove this, you should have a gasket. You don't want to reuse the original. Okay, there it is. Let's bring this to the bench. All right, so let's just take a look at this. You can see there's dark ring around the outside of the butterfly valve. This is on the airbox side, and this is on the intake side. You can see there's quite a bit of buildup there. So that could interrupt airflow enough where the ECU has to go in and compensate. All right, so you got the electronics and the gears here. And this is, you know, an electronically actuated valve. So I want to keep any of the cleaning spray out of this area. So if I tilt it like this, it should just build up at the bottom, And what we're going to do is just kind of soak it down and then start to try to clean it with a cloth or maybe a toothbrush. Okay, so I'm going to continue to clean without moving the butterfly valve. Because it's an electronic throttle body, the butterfly valve, as that moves, there's gears in the actuator area that are going to move with it. You don't want any misalignment. So if I just start flapping this thing and cleaning it and not paying attention, there could be some movement in here that misaligns, and then now the ECU's not going to read the proper opening of the throttle body. So anyway, my point is, do things slowly. If you're going to open the valve, do it very deliberately, slowly, and close it the same way. That way you keep everything calibrated and aligned. So something to note is that the ECU is compensating for the dirt on this throttle body. So with this amount of buildup, it may have already made changes, which it remembers. Every time you start the car, it remembers, and it uses that setting. By cleaning this, we're going to get more airflow. And if the ECU has already made some compensations, we're now going to be a little bit off because we're going to be getting more airflow than the ECU expects, which means we'll get a higher idle. So at startup, if we end up with a high idle, we'll know why. Okay, I've got the valve open a little bit so I can get the edge. All right, guys, here it is. It's all cleaned up, ready to go back in the car. So I'm not going to film that because it's pretty obvious how to put everything back together. I did this because I bought an X-pipe, and it was recommended that this be done, and also the spark plugs, because we're trying to get as smooth a throttle and as smooth an idle as possible. And, you know, it was a good thing to do. It was dirty. So if you guys are looking to do this project, hopefully this video helps. Good luck.